We need to know the framework under which we are talking about violence against women in electoral processes. The Constitution of the Republic of Uganda murdered, defiled, raped, and so on, but it is still the Constitution. Then the Electoral Commission Act, Political Parties and Organizations Act. How many of you have some of these books, some of these regulations? Sometimes even you don't need to be, not sometimes you need to have it as a politician. You need to have the Local Government Act. You all have? National Women's Council Amendment Act. National Youth Council Act, Referendum and Other Provisions Act, then specific provisions on disability. May I have the women with disability, any disability, especially the physical one, because we all have disabilities one way or the other, including my memory loss and so on, but I cannot claim to be under the PWD. Those women here with us, with disability, Rahma, what happened? Okay, this is that. Then we look at the strategic plan of the election. Much as these frameworks are in an environment that is very illegal, very hostile, we need to have the basic knowledge, because then we can position ourselves on the platform of the information. Violence against women in politics, what is it? What is it? Can somebody define for me, because we wanted it to be conversation. What is violence against? We've just gone through it, general, gender-based, but now violence against women in politics. What is it? And have you experienced it, or have you been a perpetrator? And now you get up, just communicate any language and Jolly Lugwana Swahili. Tunaongea yote tu. Very clear, really nice.
Abakyala ekyamazima abalumanga olwaleero mu politics olwaleero abakyala basinga abaamaanyi nakasatuli ba victim abamu tubakwagala okukyalirako naera tubategeeza okubeera victim ate tekitutuwa ow'amaanyi ddala tutuliganyiramu Wale mo solution. Activity. Ngabo kodi zobagana. Nsebisinga. Kumalira mu maziga. Njagala mbawe ekyokulabirako bali badakufulamya tambulira yaka buli batugezako okuteekawo kino kituuse kituuse nawala mubadde muziramu naye buli mukyala bwobala tuyogera ku bayisiza omukyala gavumenti eno olwaleero yabannakyemalira ataba bategeeza nanza kukwanukanaku kubakukakanya kati tusibiddwa tukubiddwa jasitekiza okubagamba nti tulina kusigala nga tulisitoka oba okusala amagezi nti tukivaamu tutya kosenza bulamu bwaffe busaanyawo ekimu madamu za twiga tetusinza okweralikirira bwe tusibibwa mu makomera tetweralikirirayo okuliirayo obutwa okukubibwa empiso okukwatibwa kati tukivaamu tutya jaffe ndowooza tukyalinaku ku mbeera eno esibo tuti Thank you so much. Anybody who didn't follow that
I can be a translator. I'm multitasking. I'm on
Nancy is a facilitator. Secretary of Talika Parish. Ikibuuzo kibuuzizza gender-based violence mu bakyala bali mu politics kitegeeza ki bwe bakulidde bulungi. Ndowooza nti bwe kukulusanyizibwa oba okukabasanyizibwa okutuuka ku bakyala abali mu bifo ebyobukulembeze oba n'abo abavuddeyo okwagala okuteeka be baagala mu bukulembeze naye ate ne batulugunyizibwa olw'olyawo ne bagibwako n'eddembe ery'okulonda abo be baagala.
Thank you so much.
Nga n'okuvaayo nti omukyala agende yerwaneko oba agende ku poliisi kansala ogenda otya n'oloopa nti omwami yankubye kuba omukulembeze oyo nawe ogenda otya n'ogamba nti nno omwami taleka mmere waka kati ne weekanga nga otya okugamba nti nno kangende nerwaneko bagenda kulaba batya y'obufumbo singa bufa abalonzi bo bagenda kutunuulira batya okitegeera kati n'osigala mu mbeera nti olina okubeera mu bufumbo bw'okutulugunyizibwa okusobola okukuuma kiri naye nga gwe amanyi kyokola kyoyitamu ekirala otunuulira abakyala engeri omukyala wavaayo kasedaafa ya society zinyonyodde ku social media nti waliwo ebyo society bye yateekawo nti omukyala olina kubeera buti omukyala olukale ne weesimba ku ntebe zetera okwesimbwako abaana kati ngazi ne bagamba oli mukyala lwaki togenze eri ku kifo ky'abakyala ne weebuuza kino kyo kyabaani so abakyala mu bukulembeze tufuna okusoomozebwa okw'amaanyi ennyo oba oliawo okusinga n'abakyala babuuti
I would like you to get your paper. Write down that definition. Hand it to me or to Honorable Flavia because we need it. It's going to anchor our next training in terms of prevention shared. Honorable Flavia, that's okay, isn't it? So that all of you will write. Kakati, violence against women in politics is a form of gender-based violence. We just went through a session defining the gender-based violence, isn't it? It is also a form of gender-based violence. Kubanga oli, you are a woman, which targets women and girls participating in politics at all levels. Level enough, MPs, LC5, no, she has just shared whichever level. They will tell you, this is for the men, okay? This is for the men. And then the women patronize. That is a form of violence, okay? This, at all levels, these acts include threats. If you don't listen, you will see. They will go to your husband or your children. You know, for us who don't have the husband, they go to the children to blackmail you. To blackmail you, that's violence. Because you're a woman. It is threats, physical, sexual, psychological, verbal, financial. You are deprived even of the garden, land, your land. They say, you didn't come from Pade with this land. You go. Okay? Everybody starts being ruling over you. That prevents women, that prevents us from exercising and realizing our political rights and a range of other human rights. Violence against women in politics shows itself, manifests in specific gendered ways. What are these ways? The physical violence, assassinations, kidnappings, beatings, rape, deprivation of the children, marriage, and often with the intention to force women to resign or withdraw from politics. It's actually deliberate. You look at it so that you don't. And many women, we have examples, said, Mama, I can't. When something touches the family, for us as women, that's our strongest point and also the weak point to our hearts. But there are those who do not. Recently you also saw how my own son was assassinated after threats. Yeah. You understand? And many of you have suffered from that. Physical. Sexual violence. Wow. Including sexual harassment. Unwanted advances with wanting to touch you and making those comments. And sexual assault. Rape. Women have come to me before and even during the time of defeat, during the time after the last election, even from other political parties. You know, we were with the campaign team on this man drove because he offered me with our limited finances. They will come out funding you, I'm giving you a pickup, I'm giving you a Prado. By the way, that young women are more targeted, but even the overlayers like me. Yeah, these reports are there. So this man drove all over. And then the fuel was over. Yes. And raped this country. And many more. Sexual violence, including assault, rape, sexualized threats, altered pornographic or sexualized images. They alter it. They'll get Sarah, beat you with one of with Alex, Photoshop, so that you know once you are, and then they'll come, especially this online and even in red paper that time used to do it a lot. Said, if you do not withdraw, what we have is a bazooka. You are dead. You have children. You have children. So some women who do, for me, what came to me that time there was, I tell people, I am sober. The decisions the men I've slept with, I've dated and whatever, I will own them. Okay? So you publish. But if you Photoshop, you are going to give me my retirement. I will sue you. So they extort money, they extort you. They do it. They do it. Assault, rape, sexualized threats, altered pornographic or sexualized images intended to publicly question women's competence and shame. Who remembers this lady who was almost by now should be a judge? She was harassed by her boss. She was harassed. They went to her swimming, pictures in the swimming pool. She has disappeared. This woman was very intelligent. So it targets us. Psychological violence, including threats, character assassination. You're too funny. I slept with the other one slept with the neighbor. And you know, the moment they start drawing the map of Africa with all the men you have slept, you are gone. Isn't it? But you have to be very strong because I have also seen this man. There's one of the lawyers, the politician, who was stuck naked in the act with a young girl. And he was in parliament that time. Of course he lost her. Then when he red paper put all those and one after another, he said, then you also look at the girl. She's so beautiful. Could you resist? You know, but the woman will not say, but look at this boy, he's also, you can't. You cannot. So yeah, so there's a lot. Character assassination, stalking. They're doing it to you people. Mama, for you, me, I really, do you know who sing Kana? Do sing Kana what? Do you know who sing Kana? At my age, 63, my grandchildren are older than you, man. Keep your name. And online abuse, they abuse you online. They abuse you online. See? Yeah, they do. As well as economic violence, such as denial of your salary or political financing. You saw recently where they said, you know, here, she is power hungry. The trigger is power hungry. He has said so and so is the state agent, which is not true. Which is not true, absolutely. And they published it, by the way. And now that she's going to cross over where she's going to be unveiled in a PPF. When I was growing, it was a medicine for gonorrhea, treating gonorrhea. But now in my old age, it is a political party name. And I don't know it. So, yes, PPF, political. So, you know, then people again, now you see, if you need that confidence, then I come to the office, the party folks, and say, have you seen the women guys? But they're actually targeting the party. Mama, they are not targeting you at all. So they want to shake your confidence. You know, they want to use you to publicize their stories. You need to know better. Look at some of how we can respond instead as women. We can do that. We did it in judiciary. In my other life, I'm a judicial officer, but on sabbatical, not on the sabbatical now, because I left it. That space. Yes, I'm almost finished. Politics. Okay, I'm going to hurry. So, how many of you have experienced violence against you in politics? How many of you share very, very briefly? Share politics. Yeah, we have seen the forms. We know it is true. How many of you have experienced? How many of you have documented? Have you written your story? Have you written your story of violence? And you know, as we conclude, very briefly, and also you write. I don't want to miss on anybody's story. Write for me. I'm going to compare them.
I'm going to make it very brief. I'm a victim. I have a business. Actually, what she has not mentioned is also this a business aspect of it, and then also family. You know, when you go into this politics, the family is like, oh my God, you're going to bring trouble for all of us. Actually, the whole clan family sends on you and says, oh my God, you're supporting that party, you're going to support that party, you're going to bring trouble. Haven't you seen what is happening? So that's number one. Even your husband is like, oh my God, maybe he's supporting another party, you're supporting another party. So that becomes also at risk. And then also business. I have a business in Masini. So when I declared I'm in this party, someone made an announcement because he's powerful in this country. You know him, his madam. He has a radio. So I was advertising with his radio my product. And then he's like, he stopped advertising my product just because I belong to this party. So I'm
excellent. Yes. Right behind most, there's one there. Thank you for that. Let's write it down. Stories in our own voices. Right now,
erinnya lyange nzenna kazi Juliet. Nze okunyigirizibwa kwefunye mu kwesimbawo. Omwana wange tanzikiriza kwesimbawo ate yaleeta obutabanguko bungi awaka. Talina buvunaanyizibwa bwonna yabundekera. Ate bwe neekubira omulanga ku poliisi. Nasookera ku erosi n'ekugoba.
Banaye kwe tuli ku YouTube tukikole nga luli we tukiraba mutya linki eri awo tukiraba mutya we mujja ne ku YouTube gye mulaba. Bannange what's going on our main training at National Youth Platform Makerere Company. So badde mbasaba bateereddewo linki wansi awo subscribing like tugende ne ku YouTube tuwakinge tuli ku YouTube kuliko omuntu. So guys, let's make it.
Mama nze okusomozebwa kwe nafuna nina omukungu omu mpakisi bwe naayogera ekigambo kibatera okukozesa mujja kumutegeera. Omwami ono naye gamwebuuzaako nga senior politicians okumwebuuzaako how do they do it bakopinga batya n'embeera kale ali mu opposition. But omwami ono bwe namutuukirira yagamba you see when we meet people so many people see us and they talk a lot of nonsense, so I would desire our meeting to be indoors. Namugamba mukama wange nze siyina gwetya omwami wange akimanyi wa wendi nani bwenza okusinkana so ne waba wani atulaba I don't care, so meeting whether indoors I'm sorry sijja kusobola mbadde ndowooza we can get a restaurant or anywhere we sit and discuss naye bwe kiba nga it's indoors kiba kigenze wala so abakyala abasinga tukona okuyigirizibwa naye netubayo okwogera abasajja bangi bujja okumwebuuzaako.
Thank you guys. Rashida yatus already now osobola okukwata mu link eno eri wano mu Facebook netwesanga ku YouTube. Thank you so much. Now tuli bana. Thank you so much guys. And by the way buli tukomenting kiyambako video kugenda viral, so bwoba otuuse ku YouTube commentinga ogambe ntuuse osobola video ekiyambeko obeera nga egenda viral. Guys tuli ku YouTube, link weeri wano, so nsaba ogikwatemu ekutwale direct ku YouTube ate era tulabire ne ku YouTube. So
olutandika bwenti olutuuka bwenti ku mukolo walaba wentudde waatula kumba alina owa kamera naye nga buli kifaananyi kye bakuba bakiweereza baawange, buli kifaananyi kyakwata kiweereza omwami wange naye my husband anesiga
Assalamu alaikum.
era yagamba
Wange wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
wafuna nawerekera mukyalawo wabeera nze bwe natulesigaye namba nengitegeera nga yali ku mukutu gw'ekyalo kyaffe era bwe namutegeera nga wa bodaboda yali yangwanako sobola kukola kaakati era bwe namutegeera nenkimutwalira nenkimulaga nekugamba kati n'omulala muleete omuntu etatera okimuweereza ekyadda kukulaga.
Yes, good afternoon once again. I'm Dr. Shabib Nabasa and I'm still president at Makerere University. And for me that has been the biggest race I've participated in. But the most challenging bit for us on our end as young people is that we have a social media era. So every now and then you would wake up one day and you have had disagreements with some people. Someone says you must appoint so and so to be on your cabinet. But you're saying, no, I feel this person is better, we have more merit and all that. And the next day you wake up and they're saying, Shabib slept with so and so. If you disagree with another person, so you find that we're in this political space, but the only thing they can use against us is that you slept your way to the top. And every now and then you find them speaking the same things about every young lady that you find in the political space. But then also the other thing is the fact that men feel for them to support you, you must give them something in return. That every now and then, if you ask for a man to support you, you're asking for them to be on your team, they will say, "Nice, so it's always the same thing for my person." Thank you.
Get the paper. Right, because I have a notice, fear that I must wind up. And
Thank you so much.
We don't want to miss on your story.
My point is, twetolodde nnyo ku kyogamba nti batwatakinga oba challenges ezisinga okufuna z'abakyala n'abakazi abakyala n'abasajja naye twerabidde nti naffe kennyini abakyala tuli buzibu eri bakyala bannaffe. We have that full down syndrome. N'olabanga mukyala muno ali mukimakinga in life instead of helping her proceeding waggulu wankolamu political space to a point of it like going so personal on people. Naye abakyala we need to support each other. Then ndaba ebiseera ebisinga waneno nga waliwo pressure ku kitebe wano olujja singa lujjudde naye ekituufu kiri nti abakyala bwe tuti enamba yaffe yenkana bweti so bwe tutaggyeemu ekyo
ekyo kibeera ekyobutasapootinga bakyala bannaffe abasajja bakyasigala okuba nga bangi nnyo mu struggle nga tushiringa because tetwesapootinga so nga tetunaba ku addressinga challenges endala zonna tusooke twekolemu omulimu ng'abakyala kyekinumye Adija nange Sharon kinkwatako Shamimu situkirawo nga sinnaba kumanya Shamimu yakoze eki bwe mba mu defendinga saagala kumanya the agenda is mukyala munnange
Oh, Oliver naye angambye atuuse. Thank you so much, Oliver. Guys, bagambye abali ku Facebook sobola n'ogenda ku YouTube.
Thank you so much, my sincere apologies. That's why we should have been here, sour being. Being sweet is very powerful. And yes,
omukisa webale kueleza kale mukwano naye ne ku YouTube begaidi actually basaba leero tulabire ku YouTube kwokka.
violence against women in the 2016 general election in Uganda revealed that violence against women in elections is a key talent.
Guys, bale basaba leero tulabire ku YouTube bambi kayidde linkiweri awo kikonemu oje direct ku YouTube. And by the way, ekifaananyi kya YouTube kirabika bulungi nnyo, so please and please basaba mukwate mu link eyo mujje ku YouTube. Tulinayo already Rashida yatuuse dda, Oliver yatuuse dda. And by the way, waliwo ayongedde n'agamba nti naye nga mbasaba tukwate mu link eno tugende ku YouTube naye tulabireyoko at least tuwere 10. Right now tuliyo 5 abali ku YouTube, so mbasaba ne ku YouTube tukwate ku link eno tugende ku YouTube naye tulabireyo at least tuwere 10. Right now tuli 5. And don't forget to like, botuka, don't forget to comment and like, because the more you like or the more you comment kiyambako video genda viral. Thank you.
This report revealed that violence against women that time, maybe after that it would be better, but last year is even worse. The one of 2021 is even worse. In this report, 65.5% of women, young women, female youth in political parties has been sexually harassed. And we already have an evidence right here. It is happening, it has happened, but thank God we now have the sexual harassment policy. And we need the institutional framework, the commission. Then 19.8% women also had experienced, others experiencing this nature of harassment were also male youth. Male youth get harassed from women who have power. So you were right. Yes, in the 58% of the respondents reported that sexual harassment was a problem in all political parties. All. Generally, as I conclude, we should know violence against women, gender-based violence is real. In every 10 minutes, one woman is killed. And we see here, I don't know how many women have been killed. Internet use is also one of those avenues they use. Discriminatory gender practices. How do we end it? Speak out. Gender-based violence in politics or what thrives on silence. Speak out. Kenyan women showed us. The Kenyan MPs, they will come and, they mark your hand. So they came together. And then after sleeping with these women, they will go. The women started exposing the men. Yeah, name and shame. Wall of shame. And then all of fame. Okay? So we need to speak out. But when we are speaking out in politics, we need to use non-violent means of communication. We need to strategize so that it strengthens our political party, so that it strengthens us. And it starts with us. PHU, push her up, not PhD. As women of the National Unity Platform Party, that have this great opportunity and space to speak, that have great women very, very strategically with the ears of the party leadership. Let's do this. There are that say, when the other party, when the world is sitting, let's stand. When the world is standing, let's stand out. When the world is standing out, let's be outstanding. When the world becomes outstanding, let us be the standard, and we set it very high. Thank you very much. Thank you. And we go to document our story. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Can we give another round of applause? Dr. Imante Speaker, my Deputy President, Northern Region. Thank you so much. Nancha. And let us clap all of us. Thank you so much. I know violence has a cause of this nation, starting from the personal, from the private, all the way to the public. So we have to find ways of mitigating or reducing gender-based violence or violence against women and girls. We have to find ways all the time, different strategies on how to reduce this violation. I want to appreciate you all for the time you have given us this morning. I appreciate you all for sharing your experiences, sharing your personal stories, sharing the pain, the challenges, but also some of the wins that you have, and also the experiences of how strong you have become and how you overcame some of those challenges. We appreciate it all. We know that this could have been a one-day training, but we couldn't do a one-day training because of different challenges. We are able to do a half-day training. Hopefully next time when we are doing another training, we can go for a whole day as we sometimes do. I appreciate every person that has traveled from the different regions to come here to join us today. Thank you very much. And I want to introduce, for those that do not know, our Deputy Chairperson, Women Lead Eastern Region, Ajata Zita Tomikanga, as she takes over the entire Eastern Region. In case you want to do any mobilization from the East of Women, she's the channel to go through. Our Deputy Chairperson, Central Region, is Brahma Gohan. She coordinates and mobilizes the Central Region. Our Deputy Chairpersons from the Northern Region, who is Brenda Lake, is not here, but she sends her regards, and also from the Western Region, who is Fatoma Kassim, also sends her regards. Some of you have met her, I think some of you haven't. Right now, we are closing our training. And when we close our training, we are going to form into a press conference, which is going to be very brief because I'm sure the press has already captured some of the issues. So we are basically going to have only 4 people that are going to speak to highlight some of the slides in the different categories that I'm going to talk about, especially women. I mean the all women. So we all can't talk just generally in the press conference, but we're going to at least have a young person, a person who is not in politics, a person who is in politics, and someone like that to be able to communicate our message. Mwebale nnyo mwebale ddala abakyala, mwebale okujja, mbagala nnyo, mwebale okuwuliriza omulanga gwaffe bwe twayita, mwebale okwebereramu, mwebale okwagala Kyagulanyi Robert Ssentamu. Mwebale okujja okusoma. Omayiseezi nga tubayita nga tulimu tugende naye twetaagayo n'obudde okulowoozaako ku ngeri gye tusobola okwekulaakulanya, okulowooza ku ebyo ebituluma n'okulowooza ku ngeri gye tusobola okubivvuunuka. Eyo gye tukolera mu maka gaffe, mu nnimiro, mu mabaala, gye tutambulira, ku mirimu, nayo yonna yonna ebifo bingi nnyo community zaffe, society zaffe. So leero lubadde lunaku lwa kusoma era lubadde lwakola ki? Lwakuyiga. Tetubaddemu tugende naye tetusobola kukoowa kubazikiza nti era tugende tukyamulimu newankubadde tukoozingako ne tusoma ne tweyigiriza bino, temwerabira nti struggle nene nnyo n'okusinga ffe n'okusinga challenges ezimu netukola ki? Netuyitamu. Tukole ffenna kyetusobola okukola okutuusa Kyagulanyi Ssentamu mu ntebe y'epesi nga pulezidenti w'eggwanga lino omutuufu. Mbadde njagala atuggalirawo naye ndaba sipiika alina omukono waggulu. Sipiika wateeka omukono waggulu mba saagala musibirayo kubanga ali sipiika omu yekka mu Uganda yonna ow'ekibuga ki? Kampala. Nsooka ng'omukisa abeeko ne kyayogera tulyoke tugende mu presa.
Tando omukono waggulu nga ndaba omusibireyo. Mbadde nsaba okwebaza abantu bano mwebalire okujja abakyala abakulembeze mwebalire ddala. Nze nsoma Romaani, kansika wa Kampala, nange munaye mbadde nsoma nammwe. Experience yange ndagiwayo wataddabuli as a trigger and documenting. Thank you very much for gracing this event. We are so humbled, honorable, for this initiative.
Thank you. I also want to introduce the Deputy President, Deputy Chairperson, Eastern Region for the youth, female youth, Maria Lebukoska, is here with us. Thank you so much for representing us well that time. Kalo kalango ndoke mpite kwawe bakumuzira kuno kujja ku bintu bya bino kujja ku bintu birala nnyo. NU People Soldiers Tournament Central of Uganda Netball Gala. It's going to take place on the 19th of January 2025. No Foot Soldiers Tournament for Central Uganda Netball Gala. Bw'omuwulira ng'oyagala okubeera a participant mweno ggala ya netball ya Soldiers Tournament, nkusaba okubataganye n'omukyala Rahman Bwajuma wewandiise ajja kutuusa awatu kuwulira okola ki? Okutuuka tulabe nga twegattirawo. Mwami Aseo Bobi mumanyi mwena yeebazizza abakyala abasobola okukyalira abaana be omwana we ng'ali mukomera n'abasobola okumukyalira era tukulisaayo by'omukulu Now I have the privilege and honor to invite my boss, my friend, the one and only Land Council, who was the representative of Thank you very much.
People power, our power, NUP, everywhere. Viva Kyagulanyi, viva! Viva Bobi Wine, viva! Viva women empowerment, viva! Bana Emilio, I am very excited this afternoon speaking to the women of the National Unity Platform and especially the leaders. ndi musanyufu nnyo era mbadde ngamba Flavia nti akoze eddakiika 5 zampadde naye njagala kwebaza akakiiko k'abakyala kakulembera Flavia bakumajjuma ne bamwe olw'okubangayo ne mutuulamu ng'abakyala ku nsonga ezibakwatako. Kya mugaso mu ngeri bbiri. Engeri esooka mwenna mulina capabilities za njawulo. There is nothing that is better to empower yourself from an example that is very close to you. I know this lady here, Mrs. Nasolo. Very long time I haven't mentioned her name and probably she doubts whether I know her, but I know her very well. She's an entrepreneur, a big entrepreneur. So if you're women here and you want to be she's living for Moyo and nearly in Moyo, you know, because of superiority is complex. Now that's different complex. It's two ways. She's both female and she's working. Sijja kidefininga kuba mukyogedde ku butabanguko. Kati mwogera ku butabanguko bw'ebyobufuzi n'obutabanguko bw'amaka. Mu dakiika 5 kunze kibeera both female and male. Now with the female it is very both female and male. Now with the female it is very dangerous when you are inferior, because everything will be done to you out of inferiority complex. So I want to ask you people, do not be inferior. You are leaders. Tosobola deliveryinga bukulembeze nga weetya. Gwe weetegeka okuva ku makya. Kubanga eka bayinza eka kirala. Eka it is formidability. You are having a jobless man and then you are the mayor of the whole division. And the man is not formidable to think that he can benefit from you being the mayor. So those who have not yet got married, get the right partner. You a leader, don't get a man. And the reason why men and a man who is beating you does not love you. Tebakulimba. Zenakula bagamba nti simanyi bwakukuba kabakola ki? Tibakwagala bikinga kusa. Mwabakyala mamwetaddeko eyo emboozi. N'obasanga mu bukukulu asitusa agenza wasenga bamubuulirira ne bamubuulirira ku gasiya nti yamukubye amwagala nnyo ng'eriiso temuli. Men and women have died out of that bogus rhetoric. I can tell you it is inferiority. Do not accept to be inferior in any situation of your life. Otherwise they will violate you. You will condescend to even rubbish, to even people who don't deserve you. There are men out there who benefit from grandizing themselves. Ate abasajja ababa inferior n'amaanyi oluusi baba tebalina kubanga amaanyi agayita noba bagajjawo. Kakati gwe bw'ova eri ng'omukyala muli ku by'abakyala genda mbesibayo ate nze ntera nnyo ogenda sibanga mwakoze ebibi. There is nobody who is going to protect your first front line apart from you yourself. At my home, I'm not a very easy person in terms of maybe the way people will see me in public. But there is one thing that I'll share with you. A woman in the house, if she is formidable, that home will be formidable. And once she's formidable, even you, the man, you are empowered. You know, it is you people who empower us. It is you people who push us to become whatever we want to become. That is why, if you are lazy as a person, as a woman, you will get assistance to have that man fulfill the dreams that they want. You know, men don't marry because we want sex. Sex can be bought. It is on the street. It is everywhere. I'm being factual with you. We don't marry because we want that beauty. No, a man marries because he wants empowerment. He wants what? You marry because you want to be empowered by a companion. And that companion, once she's not fulfilling that, but it all comes from the other word I said, inferiority complex. Because you get into situations, you have a lot of money, the man does not have money. Of course, money is supposed to be for both of you. But there is where it is clear, it is very clear that the money now, the bags are with the woman. The man, okay, now, if a man is inferior and you are rich, you are progressing, and you find him inferior, try to talk about it. You women sit, your children, they sit us down to us. Whatever grave offense I have done, call you man. Omusajja gw'oyisa okubuulira ebibi bye yakozesa kukuba ng'omuyisa bulungi. Let men not, me, I am a man, I'm telling you. I am a man, I am telling you. Men, let me tell you about men. You see, women posture as if we are very strong people. But let me tell you something about guilt. And this is the story of my friends. I don't want you to assume it is mine. If you have heard the disclaimer. Omusajja asobola okuzza emisango nga tomanyi era n'agiza bulungi n'amaliriza okuzza emisango gye n'ayolekera okuddawa. Naye mbabuulira mikwano gyange bonna abasajja abadde mu mbeera eno baŋŋamba sifunanga scientific proof nganzi nti okuva gy'agiza emisango nga gwe tomanyi byangu atuuka ye yennyini yeebuulira ebintu ebitanabaawo oba yategedde oba ategedde era olumu wesanga n'ebirabo bisusse by'otandikoze eki kubanga alowooza bamukoze eki. Men are human beings. This beating, this violence is because of you. You give it the chance. You keep quiet when it happens. You are leaders. A leader, you are not supposed to keep quiet if something has been done to you. If you keep quiet, then who will ever speak? Who will ever speak? So if you are leaders, empowerment, no lugambo lutagasa na lolo baletedde obuzibu. N'obulirako muno, ate muno n'agifuula emboozi. Nekireetera bali abalala okutya obutavaayo kwogera kibatuusiddwako kubanga oli bamwogeredde bubi eyavuddeyo n'akyogera mu ki mwempawalinge each other ng'abakyala. Mweno national umbrella eya NUP mwalina awulidde abagamba mbu ate bo bali mu tenti ate bali mu muti. Oli ayinza okugamba nti ali mu umbrella n'ogaa nti ate oli mu muti. Terigatta. Kati tulina okubeera nga tuli assertive. Tulina okubeera nga tuli assertive. Obukulembeze is a calling. There is a reason why all of you here are ambitious to be something. It cannot be stopped by a man. It should not be stopped by a man. But also, I know there are women who beat men. There are very many. No, there are many. No, the word few is being juxtaposed to the numbers of women. But me, I'm telling you, there are many women who are violent against men. And the violence we are talking about is not only beating. It can be verbal. It can be. Hey, naffe wano we mulaba nganze deputy spokesperson omukazi ajana akuba obugambo n'omutunula agoogedde. Naye kati ffe abamu twagawulira wunjadde era totutwala nga musango omusonyi wa busonyi ye oba naawe n'omuddiza. Naye omukyala ekikufuula omukyala ge maanyi g'oba nago buli ky'oba otaddeko engalo tuzinga by'oyingidde biyingire with assertiveness, biyingire with priority biyingire nga weekakasa ng'omukyala ate mwe empowering each other. Temufuna bantu bali inferior kubaganza nga bami bamwajja kukuba paka bwanakoowa. Waliwo omwami Engineer Kazibu. Engineer Kazibu, it is a public thing, I can talk about it. And Dr. Speciosa Wandera Kazibu. The man, may his soul rest in peace, was very inferior. He was a drunkard, and this one was a deputy vice president. So he felt comfort in beating a vice president. You get my point? Now, there are those type of people who are inferior. And if you are living in that ambition, there's no reason why you should remain there. In my opinion, because people have died. I heard of a woman who was beaten to death in Malawi. Was it in Malawi? Even here. So for me, I request you people, probably one day larger time, Madame Flavia, this is a topic I can ably talk about, but I want to ask you, the ladies, be assertive, empower yourselves, and get out of the docket of inferiority complex. Be formidable. Zahara imiza. Kati ogenda mugamba chisawa zino omusanga. Ogenda mugamba tingo kozeti. Ali assertive ne bwomo ina kyoyagala omugamba. Gwe mwennyini okola ki? Otya naye bw'oba teweetegese oli inferior, you are appeasing, bajja kukwata kukutuba kozesa ebirala bagala okola ki? So my word to you, please be formidable. Be assertive. Know why you are in this, because if you go on being tested by every level of going up, onatukira bannaye ngalolete jula. So tumanye, know your price. Your price is your human being, and your human being is the overzealousness of your entire body. So you know that you are a very formidable person. In politics, of course, now you have the army. That one is what we are working on, removing Museveni, because Museveni and his team, you know, they always do that. But we want to thank you for being assertive, for being formidable, and for being members of the National Unity Platform. It is not easy because you still find a lot of persecution as women. Now I have heard our sister, your products are not being advertised. Don't you fear about that. Come and we advertise them. You are NUP. We are the people. Come join us. Tell us your products. We have the microphone. We will advertise you. Beginning today, I'm going to advertise your products. Do not be bogged down by negativity. Move with positivity, move with cohesion. I can tell you, you will leave no stone unturned. Thank you very much. We officially close this function much for God and my country. People power, our power, people power. Era mundikirize ngolole. Kibumba benini.
Thank you very much. This is spokesperson, Alex. So, we've come to the end. Now we are going to request that we move into a press what? Mode. I know time is not with us, so I want to move this as fast as I can. Ebigambo tulina bingi nnyo naye leero tugenda bisala byonna bibenga biki bitono ddala. Mwebale nnyo okujja, mwebale ddala. Mpoza mubamu abazze abateyanjuddeko abatuuse bitlate, mwabaddemu Lilian Kabagambe, coordinator Funga region. Dimita Funga Kulabe. Mulimu njagala okwebaza nnyo ba coordinator baffe ababadde ku organizing committee eno ey'omusomo gwaffe. Sarah Yesa Kaseera abeerawo, Sarah Mujamu, Sifra Lukundo oyo naye musookerako, joined by abayabe mumanyi nga Rahma Juma n'abalala bonna. Sorry? Oh, yes. From Busia. Order request. People had time to introduce themselves. I'm just highlighting some of those. Of course, the Monica, wali mu dduuka lyaffe, musangayo waggulu awo. Monica. So ndowooza kankome kwabo kubanga nja kukola ensobi wano ate munyiigire naye wakunyiigira saamutabanguko twagala mirembe kati. So can we get into a press conference mode? I think we are going to speak from here and you will stay seated as you are. I'm just requesting that you move the empty chairs behind and move a bit of seat closer. Because we're going to call a press and we're only going to have only 4 people speaking and then we can move. Has this been a great engagement? Have you benefited from it? Thank you very much for coming and we shall be moving to regions. So those of you who may want to move with us on different when we announce the knowledge. Next year we will have an individual engagement and so we can do things and make the people to the name. As soon as we can, so that we can have with the female. People power, our power, our power, people power. Gender-based violence in recognition of the 16 days of activism which are celebrated internationally. We need to shine a torch on the plight of women and girls that are undergoing domestic violence or gender-based violence around this country. We have provided basic information to all of you to be able to address gender-based violence and how best to respond and protect yourselves as survivors. For some of us, for most of us, because I am very sure 1 in 3 women undergo some form of violence at some point. Historically, we know that the response by various stakeholders, for example, the police officers, health service providers, religious leaders, family and friends, sometimes, most oftenly, a lot of times, is very insensitive to the plight of survivors of gender-based violence. Most of the times, the survivors of gender-based violence are blamed, especially women or females. They are blamed for not being submissive enough. They are blamed for not being patient. They are blamed for not being tolerant. Some are accused of provoking the perpetrators, provoking the husbands, for example, into beating them senselessly. Others are not believed when they say their stories or when they share their stories. We have children who sometimes report the perpetrators and they are called bad children. They are called children who tell lies. They are called children who do not know what they are talking about. GBV has serious consequences which are far-reaching and which include the erosion of one's self-esteem, one's self-worth, physical, mental, and psychological health issues, loss of productivity, among so many other consequences. We have to know that this has a price that needs to be paid if it is to be established and sustained. We know for sure that 45% of partners, especially women, suffer silently through physical violence. We also know that 16% of reported cases are sexual violence cases. We also know that 29% of these physically forced sexual violence cases in our homes, in our spaces, in our offices, also our workplaces. There is a complete lack of trust in GBV cases, especially at police level and at health centers at times. CDOs and the communities, that's the community development officers too, lack certain resources to handle violence cases, and yet sometimes that's the first point of reference. It is within our power to fight against gender-based violence. It is within us as women, it is within us as men, as girls and boys to break the silence on gender-based violence. What can be done? A lot needs to be done, but if the government started investing more resources into programs reducing gender-based violence cases, this wouldn't be a very high price to pay for the country. Allocation, we could redeem about 15.5% of government's GDP if we were to invest resources in this. And this is money that has been lost because of violence against women or girls cases. According to a study that was done by Forum for Women in Democracy entitled Budgeting for Peace, a cost-benefit analysis. So today we are here to share our stories, just like we've had, but we are also here to amplify the voices on why violence needs to be stopped and why all of us need to break the silence. Thank you very much. I'm going to invite our Deputy President, Lina Zedriga Waru, to start us off in this conversation with the message we are putting forward to men, women, girls and boys out there while commemorating the 16 days of activism as the NUP Women League, to be able to combat the issue of gender-based violence. Thank you very much, Lina. Please come forward.
People power,
Our power.
our power,
People power.
NUP,
Everywhere.
Yes, thank you so much, the gallant women of this great party, the National Unity Platform Party. Thank you so much, Honorable Flavia, for that leadership that is very inclusive, that is making us as the women in this political party